What did this Donkey Kong do? Donkey Monkey. Wait, what the fuck? How does he have a piano? Donkey King had barrels of fun, but Monkey Kong had...
RickWa reacts!
What up, folks? Tis RickWa, and for this video's reactions, keyword reactions, I'm gonna be reacting to 3 videos, which all are by videogamedunkey, and they're all Donkey Kong related. Hence the shirt. It says Big DK Energy. I definitely had to get this shirt when I saw it on Facebook. I was like, shut up and take my money! Quite fucking literally. Oh, yo. And also, shout outs to Dynamic Custom Beadworks as well for this awesome bead sprite as well too of Donkey Kong. I got this from them a while ago, but just wanted to make sure to show that off as well too. But either way, it's gonna be the 3 videos are gonna be Donkey Kong Begins, Donkey Kong, and then Donkey Kong Country. And with the way, videogamedunkey does his whole, reviews and all that stuff in his videos, I'm sure it'll definitely be pretty funny within the mix as well too. So there'll be that. And I gotta say, at least involving Donkey Kong Country. Okay, so I've only beaten Donkey Kong Country 1, but out of the 3, I've played through Donkey Kong Country 2, have not yet beat it in full, and I've never played Donkey Kong Country 3. That's bad. That's really fucking bad. But I'm doing my best to get around it and all that stuff. So, oh boy. But either way, I'm gonna switch right over to the green screen webcam. Just to get right into it, folks, and all that. There we go, folks. Also, hope y'all are having a wonderful day today as well too, and also please be sure to support videogamedunkey within his content creation journey, along with any other content creators that I react to within their content creation journey. But before I get started with this video here, I would like to give a very special thank you to everyone for the positive support, from watching my videos to liking my videos, for the positive comments on my videos, sharing my content around, and especially to all of y'all who have subscribed to my channel, make sure to smack the bell buttons so that y'all know what it is that I'm uploading new content on my reaction channel. And I greatly appreciate the support thus far and going forward. Y'all are amazingly awesome, folks. But without further ado, let's get right into it, shall we? With Donkey Kong Begins.
1964. Nintendo Company is funny. Their latest toy, called the Rabbit Coaster, allows you to race 4 jelly beans down a slide. I guess that the beans are supposed to be rabbits. It looks pretty fun. Their next toy was called Picture Cutter. Players are given weird scissors that they can cut pieces of paper with. This is like the toys they had in the Great Depression. Nintendo had all these contraptions, like this little bowling game. The Nintendo Ultra Hand, the stupid-ass hip flip. They had a toy called Ellie Conga. The original version of Duck Hunt would project little ducks onto your wall. The Ultra Machine would pitch you little T-balls. With this combination of innovation and electronic know-how, it only made sense for Nintendo to embrace the emerging industry of video games, and in 1978, Nintendo released their first tabletop arcade machine called Block Fever. It's just a rip-off of Breakout. Very obviously just ripped it off. Then they did a game called Space Launcher. They were ripping off of Space Invaders on this one. And the promo art featured TIE fighters from Star Wars. And no way did they pay for the license. 1980, the president of Nintendo calls up everybody in the company on a big phone, and he says, today we are going apeshit with the release of our new video game, Monkey Magic. Reggie of America was blown away. He ordered 3,000 units to be shipped to the United States the next day. But then he actually played the game, and he said, this was the biggest mistake of my whole career. There isn't even a fucking monkey in this game. And it's just ripping off a Breakout again. So, to fix their shitty game, Nintendo hired a guy called Nintendo Miyamoto, who teamed up with Gunpei Yokoi, inventor of the Nintendo Love Tester. With their powers combined, these two came up with the idea that they should add a monkey to the game. Except, Miyamoto had absolutely zero experience in developing a video game. Other than doing the music, the only semi-relevant skill he brought to the table were his illustrations, and even then, his talents were dubious at best. When Reggie asked Miyamoto to change the main character from a monkey into a donkey, Miyamoto replied, "Okay, here is the concept art of the new character Donkey Kong." And still to this day, this is what Miyamoto thinks a donkey looks like. During its extremely short development cycle, Miyamoto had to learn from the ground up how a video game was actually created. As the game's director,
I gotta say though, so far so good. I'm definitely learning quite a bit of history, at least, you know, with Nintendo, and, you know, I guess the development of Donkey Kong that I really didn't know before. So there's that. It's a lot of the more you know kind of thing.
Pretty much all he did was bounce ideas off the four programmers, asking them, can we do this? How hard is it to do this? That's impossible? What if we do this? Why? Why was this completely unproven man selected to direct an $800,000 video game? Well, because he had won a contest. Maybe it was his lack of context that pushed them to do ideas they normally wouldn't, or maybe the programmers were just really good and Miyamoto kept egging them on. Whatever happened, the end result was the most complex game ever created up to that point.
You can't get hooked on it.
Are you?
Yeah.
In many ways, Donkey Kong was a breakthrough title. It wasn't just the first Donkey Kong game, it wasn't just the first Mario game, it was the first platformer. It was the first game to have a character running and jumping over obstacles. It was the second game to have distinct stages or levels. Before, Donkey Kong games would just repeat one stage at varying speeds and difficulties. Even though it also looped, Donkey Kong stages were stitched together with cutscenes and various melodies featuring an actual conclusion to its story.
Bonk.
Playing Donkey Kong today, you notice that this game is fucked up. If Mario falls 3 feet, he will die to fall damage.
That kills you?
And I gotta say, the only reason why I know about like how fucked up these levels can get is because of playing this game in Donkey Kong 64. Bruh, that shit was a nightmare, yo. Especially if you didn't know what you were doing on the third level of this. Oh, yo. It was when you had to get the rare coin. So I think it was either the rare or the Nintendo coin. And I'm sorry that I forget. It's just been a while since I've played Donkey Kong 64. But, yeah, when you had to get, like, the important coin you needed in order to actually, like, beat the game, in the sense of, like, getting to the final boss, bruh. With the springs? Continuing on.
He's very slow, but the obstacles are extremely fast and erratic, and they kill you in one hit. Most players are too afraid to even leave the spawn area, but then a flame enemy crawls out of the oil and chases you up the screen like a motherfucker type of guy. It is such a brutal, unforgiving game, but the stratospheric difficulty also heightens the drama of it all. In this one image, Donkey Kong tells an entire story. You have Donkey Kong all the way at the top floor. He's the CEO, okay? He gets the lady, and he spends his days just fucking around, laughing and chucking barrels. Then you have Mario. He's a blue-collar guy. He probably built the building that Donkey Kong's standing on. He starts all the way down at the bottom and has to go through hell, literally climbing up the ladder of success one floor at a time. And when he finally reaches the top, what does Donkey Kong do? He jumps up 50 floors in 3 seconds. This game is about life. In its first year, Donkey Kong generated $180 million for Nintendo.
Damn!
For many developers, a success like that would have been the pinnacle of their career. For Miyamoto, it was just one minor step onto far greater works. Donkey Kong would receive 2 arcade sequels, but it wouldn't be until 13 years later.
Actually, I never played any of the DK Jr. games. Just being honest on that.
That the series got its next major installment with an absolutely massive successor that made the original look like a demo. This game would be called Donkey Kong.
I respect that. Good stuff for that first one. And I definitely learned a little bit too. Didn't realize there was all that other stuff with Nintendo, and that, like, you know, before Donkey Kong, there was a Monkey Magic game? Yeah, Monkey Magic. Jeez. Oh! Brain farts be a hell of a thing sometimes, folks. Okay. We're gonna move on to this one. Donkey Kong.
After the smash success of Donkey Kong, Nintendo went from aping other games to being copied themselves, spawning a wave of imitators and knockoffs. There was Jumpman for the Commodore 64. I really like the sound effect when he climbs the ladder in this game. EA's first game was a knockoff called Hard Hat Mac, which is described as a 3-stage game without an ape. Crazy Kong was actually an officially licensed clone because Nintendo couldn't keep up with hardware demand. Listen to the sound when he jumps. Did Crazy Kong invent Mario's voice? Congo Bongo switched up the whole perspective and had some really fancy graphics for its time. Killer Gorilla was developed by one 17-year-old. I feel like Chris Pratt should have voiced this version of Mario instead. Wally Kong. This game broke all barriers. It said, okay, I know we have a giant gorilla on the box art, but what if when you got in the game, you actually have to face off against a little doggy? In Logger, you went up against a big bird. In Monkey Business, you went up against a man. On the Spectrum, there was one called Kong, but then there was another one called Crazy Kong, but then there was another one called Killer Kong. This one was strictly for all the freak jobs out there in this world. Look at it, look at his little smile. Little bastard, what is he smiling about?
Oh,
what did this Donkey Kong do? Donkey Monkey, wait, what the fuck? How does he have a piano? Donkey King had barrels of fun, but Monkey Kong had the funniest name of any video game. For ape craze, they really had to scale back the budget on the Donkey Kong. Mario's Brewery was the first game to answer the question of why there were so many barrels falling down the building. On top of all the unofficial ports, there were also tons of official versions. Donkey Kong for Atari, Game & Watch, and Television, Coleco Tabletop. The one I had was Donkey Kong for the NES, which is where this song comes from. By 1994, there were 300 video games called Donkey Kong, all of which were heavily based on the original 1981 arcade game. So, to be funny, Nintendo put out a new game called Donkey Kong for the Game Boy, and when you boot it up, it just seems like another arcade port. Classic opening level, conveyor belt one, the pies will kill you on this level. Spring one, that spring is fucked up, watch out for that. And then stage 4, boom, you beat the game. Except, you didn't beat shit. That was just the intro. There is actually 97 more levels after that. How fucked up is that? The entire Donkey Kong arcade game is just a tiny intro segment in a Game Boy game. Looking back today, it's insane how many ideas and mechanics they crammed into this game. New Donk City, that's from this game. The Tiny Mushroom in New Super Mario Bros., that's from this game. And Captain Toad can smash through blocks with a hammer, that's from this game. The double jump and the somersault from Mario 64, that's from this game. Except you do a cool handstand in this one. That shit is insane. It feels like such a fancy mechanic, and yet it stems from a Game Boy game. The attention to detail is absurd. Mario reaches his little hand out to grab onto a vine. He can get squashed, stomped, burned, drowned. He can pass his hammer from floor to floor to his own self. If he falls from a medium height, he'll do a roll. He can swing on monkey bars. There's a power-up that lets you spawn in ladders or bridges. Just like the original, the game's success would propel its co-director's career. Takao Shimizu would go on to direct Star Fox 64, Pokemon Stadium, and eventually Super Mario Sunshine. In 1994, Donkey Kong fans were living large. Not only did they get one of the best Game Boy titles ever produced, but in that same year, they would also receive one of the best Super Nintendo titles ever produced, a video game that would take the entire country by storm. And even other countries too. It was released in multiple territories.
That's really interesting. That's really good to know, because like the amount of like different versions of Donkey Kong that they made after the OG one, that's pretty fucking wild. And I didn't know that. And the one he's talking about on the Game Boy. So the one I've played that I remember most is on the Game Boy Advance, when it was Mario versus Donkey Kong. And I see where a lot of the stuff from that game had originated from. And that's really interesting as well, that like Donkey Kong was actually like kind of like the basis of how Mario got a lot of his acrobatic moves as well too. The more you know. That was really good. The more you know kind of thing. Now on to this next one. Donkey Kong Country. Or this last one, to be precise in this video.
Before Last of Us 2, before Metal Gear Solid 2, and Donkey Kong Country 2 took the main character of the game and said, nope, you don't get to play as that guy, even though the name of the game is Donkey Kong Country. And you know what? You don't get to play as Diddy Kong now. Go play as Baby Kong. No, you know what? You don't even play as monkeys anymore. Now you're a fucking elephant. Even back in the 80s, Donkey Kong was flipping the whole script on this weak-ass industry. The arcade sequel, Donkey Kong Jr., had you going up against Mario, who was now the villain of the game. But in the 90s, Nintendo was shipping DK all the way off to England, where Rareware was going to revitalize the baboon for a new generation. Donkey Kong Country. When two real gamers see each other in the street and they start talking about real games, this is the games they're talking about. What's stupid about this game is that they put this song right at the start. Why would I even play any levels when I can just listen to this song already? Funky Kong going crazy on the stand-up bass, but then some fucked up guy comes in on the piano and he says, woo! But eventually you do start the game, and you know why? Because this whole game is non-stop fucking Mongo jams. These soundtracks, no, they can't be done, but somehow they were. Level 1, the drums start fading in over this jungle ambience. Then the second drum comes in. Then Funky Kong. Boom, 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 boom. But then the bass transforms into, oh shit. But then it reverts back into, this level is a whole different story. You hear those water drips echoing through the cave. So naturally, the instruments weave into the background and then they disappear like a magic trick. Every 30 seconds, the song morphs into something else. For this song, I am like a pirate now. What I love so much about these Donkey Kong soundtracks is how they disconnect the idea of excitement from loudness. This music is exciting. It's catchy, but it's also pretty quiet. They're jamming out with their eyes on the decibel.
Okay, so actually, the furthest I've gotten up to in Donkey Kong Country 2, to be precise, I'm at a Bramble Scramble, or yeah, it's not the first one. It's the one that's the most notable in in Donkey Kong Country. So yeah, I'm in the carnival area right now at the least, to be very specific, at the date of recording this video.
Level, never allowing the subtle trickery to be swallowed into a cacophony. Forest Interlude. This song sounds like a mystic golem just woke up from a 300-year nap and started doing the robot. The bonus room song is genius because the real bonus is that you get to hear this song. When you go to Wrinkly Kong's house, she's playing Nintendo 64, and if you listen, you can hear what game she's playing. With the level Bramble Scramble, the developers knew you would be stuck in that bullshit level for 10 hours, so they went, okay, well, we better put a really good song here because you're going to hear it like 3,000 times. Then you got these joyous, celebratory tracks. This is like the music that plays when you meet Santa Claus in heaven and he gives you $1 million. The sounds are so lush with such luxurious instrumentation. Listen to that. Oh, that's nice. Oh, what's that? Oh, I love it. In this song, the mood starts like, nope, you can't
Obviously, that was, you know, some DK Country 3, so I guess I will definitely be in for a treat for when I play that.
Do this, but then the drums kick in, and then you're like, I can do this. Flight of the Singer goes the opposite way. You start off like, hell yeah, let's do this. Then the piano comes in. I feel like you could give these musicians some sticks and a blade of grass, and they could turn that into an album. They turn fucking monkey sounds into an instrument. Any song with a bass line, that's a done deal, okay? They got every song on this game. They got... And you know, the graphics and the gameplay is good too. Before last...
Good stuff. Good stuff, yo. That was great. I absolutely respect the whole fuck out of that. Oh man. So yeah, no, that was definitely some good stuff. I'm definitely excited to react to the next few videos involving Donkey Kong from Video Game Dunkey. So obviously, please be sure, you know, to stay tuned in for that and all that good stuff. But either way, I'm gonna switch over back to the regular webcam real quick, folks. There we go, folks. Hope you all enjoyed that as well too, because I gotta say, as a DK fan, I definitely enjoyed that. So there's that. But either way, I'm at the end point of the reaction video, and if y'all have gotten thus far, I do greatly appreciate that. As basically, I'm finna bounce on off, you know, going forward from there. So if y'all like this kind of content on my reaction channel, of course, please be sure to leave a like, leave a positive comment, share my content around, and if y'all have not already, please be sure to smack that subscribe button and the bell button so then y'all know when it is that I'm uploading new content onto my reaction channel. And until the next reaction video that I upload, folks, peace out.